Hello, everybody. Good afternoon to our students and parents who have taken time out from their schedules to attend this exclusive webinar with the University of St. George's. Thank you all for joining. Today, I'll be co-hosting the webinar with Ms. Amy, who is also from St. George's University, and myself, Zora, from Qadri International Education Consultancy. In this 1 hour, we will discuss about the university and we'll have a Q&A session towards the end of the presentation. So students and parents, you can type your queries in the Q&A section below, which will be discussed in the end. And if we miss any questions at all, then please feel free to contact us at our email or phone number. And now over to you, Ms. Amy, please.
Thank you very much. So my name is Amy Lobel. I am the Regional Director for St. George's University, and I'll be taking you through this presentation today regarding the university, admissions inquiries, our scholarship opportunities, and also more about where you see yourself starting medicine with us and the 3 locations that you can start at as well. We've worked with Qadri International for a number of years now, and we highly recommend you use their services when applying to St. George's University. So St. George's University was founded in 1976 on the beautiful sunny island of Grenada in the Caribbean. And we've since graduated over 19,000 physicians. So all 19,000 physicians were once in the same position your students are currently in. You may be a parent or a student, and they have the same questions. So we've organized this presentation into a top list of questions you're likely to receive and also think about when you're also considering studying with us. So one of the main questions we get is, will you get a US residency when you study with us? So students and their families want to know they are going to achieve their goal, and that is that they're going to reach their dream of practicing medicine in the US or the UK is also an option. And St. George's, we know that our graduates secure more US residencies than any other school's graduates. In fact, 88% is our residency placement rate at the time for eligible international graduates who applied for US residencies over the last 3 years. In fact, in 2020, we have had over 1,110 US successful residencies. And at SGU, we continue to be the #1 provider of new physicians into the US. SGU graduates secure more US residencies than graduates of any other medical school anywhere. So I know many of you may be considering other universities. You may be considering other places to go and study medicine. And it's really important to consider if that university you're considering will guarantee you a place into the US. So as we're the #1 provider into first-year US residencies for the last 12 years combined, I highly recommend you consider us because we will help you achieve your dream of that. And also, no other medical school in the world provides more new doctors into the US healthcare system. At St. George's, as we're the largest source of licensed physicians for the entire US workforce, only 1 school has nearly as many graduates licensed to practice in the US, and they've been around for well over 100 years. SGU has over 11,600 graduates currently licensed to practice in the US. At SGU, we take a really personalized strategic approach to guiding and supporting your success. One of the several crucial student support divisions at SGU is our Office of Career Guidance and Student Development, which is the OCG. And at the OCG, we work closely with your students, so yourself, or as a parent with your son or daughter from the outset to make sure that every single student is guided. And we do this by helping with the CV, personal statements, interview skills, and residency applications. So now that we've addressed the first question, the second most question we get is, how will SGU's clinical network help you to obtain a residency? So we've talked a lot about the success of our students have in obtaining a residency. It's also essential to be strategic in that approach and think about the importance of residency in your medical training. So we want to know what kind of residency you may be interested in as well. So to maximize the exposure, we have over 70 hospitals in our clinical network. In fact, over 75 when we consider that they're spread over the US and the UK. And we also have a number of subspecialties in top hospitals. So you may want to consider right now what kind of medicine you see yourself going into and also where you see yourself practicing medicine. And many of our students go into family medicine, emergency medicine, surgery, obs and gynae, pediatrics, and many other specialities as well. And we have many alumni and medics who can also help you with that as well. So I'd like to show you a quick video that shows you more information and pictures and testimonials from our students from our UK and Grenada campus.
Ms. Amy, could you please share the audio as well?
Where I am today, I wouldn't have gotten residency at Mayo Clinic if I had gone to any school.
Yeah, that's fine.
SGU was the best investment I've made in my entire life. Absolutely.
SGU has an outstanding network of over 16,000 School of Medicine graduates who practice in all 50 United States as well as 50 countries around the world. That's truly remarkable.
We've been in existence for over 40 years, so we've trained a whole lot of doctors. And probably one of the most unique advantages of coming to St. George's is the amount of support that we give to our students. We attempt to make every student that we accept to the med school be successful. We can offer a wide variety of educational pathways leading to the MD degree, which means that the vast majority of students that want to be physicians are going to become physicians.
Studying here is quite demanding, but I believe that the school is here to help us, supporting all the students and their families, and that is a big thing.
On campus, an SGU lifestyle, I think, is similar to a school in the States, except you have this beautiful environment where you're really focused on becoming a doctor.
This is a comprehensive campus. We have 65 buildings. We actually run our own bus service. We have our new exercise facility, restaurants, and our brand new dorm is spectacular. We really cater to the unique needs of all of our students and create an incredibly safe and supportive environment.
The school really tries to help you make sure that you know what you're doing, and it's just really nice to have such a big community.
The key to medical education is the learning group size, because that's the environment where you're learning medicine. And most of our curriculum is taught in small groups of 8.
One of the things we do here is we've set up DES, the Department of Educational Services, where our students learn how to learn.
We really focus on the individual. It's really student-centered education. We work with students in workshops. We work with students in small groups. We also do provide one-on-one support for students who are developing their English language.
They provide practice tests, educational material, all of that. And so when I took step 1, for me, it felt like taking another St. George's test.
We're often judged by the success of our students in USMLE exams. And in fact, we are virtually identical to a US medical school in our success rate. But in addition to standardized tests, I think we are particularly good at preparing students to be lifelong learners long into their careers.
The first 2 years in Grenada really prepared me well to succeed here in clinical rotations.
And I do believe that these clinical rotations are probably the most important aspect in trying to narrow down what you want to do for residency.
St. George's allowed me to do multiple rotations, to repeat rotations that I was interested in, and were incredibly encouraging.
We have relationships with over 70 hospitals. So it's really an opportunity for our students to think about, where do I want to train to get the residency that you're looking for?
I'm a second-year resident, and I know this is a privilege. It's a path that not everyone gets to walk, and SGU is really the stepping stone that enabled me to be here.
If you look at the average residency placement, all those numbers are on par, if not better than the US averages, and that's a testament to St. George's.
I'm a big believer in diversity, and all one needs to do is come on the campuses and walk, and you look around you and you see diversity.
I've met so many great people from so many different countries, and they all have different experiences from their country.
You learn about their backgrounds, their customs, their cultures, and having that exposure is crucial, in terms of being able to take care of people down the road.
Our students have the opportunity to train all over the world. We have actually been working in partnership with Northumbria University in Newcastle, England. And one of the things that we can now offer to students is to spend the first year of your medical curriculum in Newcastle.
It gives you a perfect combination of doing 1 year of school in England and 1 year of school in Grenada, and then your clinical rotations in North America, or to come back to the UK.
That type of international medical education is not only extremely valuable, but is quite unique.
Being a doctor in the 21st century, I think not only means being able to take care of patients, but also making sure that you continue to better yourself as a doctor. That's a really key point here, is that St. George's does a phenomenal job at getting you ready for your career.
I don't think that I would have been able to get the experience that I've gotten here at SGU anywhere else.
As soon as they drape the white coat over you, you kind of have that sense that this is the beginning of the journey.
My parents feel pretty happy about this because I'm doing something which is beneficial for mankind.
If you put in the work, I mean, doors will fly open for you. And I'm just very, very fortunate and thankful for that opportunity.
Great, I hope you enjoyed that video. So that video touches on our Northumbria campus in the UK and our Grenada campus in the Caribbean in North America. We have another partnership that is focused in India, which is with our Ramaiah campus. And I'm going to touch on that in a little while. So thanks to the partnerships that we have, we're able to give students a really international education across the 3 destinations. And depending on your academic background, you may be able to start in different locations depending on that. So Northumbria, which is our UK campus, is based in Newcastle, which is an excellent student city. We've got brand new accommodation, and it's just a one train ride to London. So it's about 3.5 hours, and it has an international airport as well. And staff from both SGU and Northumbria teach on the same 2-year basic science program. And as the programs mirror each other and have the same entry requirements, curriculum, and testing cadence. So if you start in one location and move to another, you'll be in the exact same type of location in terms of how you're studying, the books that you study, and the overall curriculum as well. So we're preparing you all the time within the same foundation as well. And then again, with Northumbria, we have our options to start here on the 4, 5, and 6-year program, which I'll also touch on after this as well. For Ramaiah, we have an important note in that it is the Ramaiah International Medical School. So students from India may be familiar with Ramaiah as a household name, as an amazing destination to study medicine. And upon completing at Ramaiah and moving to the UK or the Caribbean, you'll have a certificate as well for the 1 year that you study with us if you choose India. So our students can study in India as part of their program. It's an ability for you to gain 3 international qualifications, as well as also being able to then progress and study medicine in the US or the UK and become board certified, as well as our degree is also recognized among the Medical Council of India as well. So by studying at SGU, as I mentioned, you get the benefit of having a really international education. So the blue circles you can see here, if you're listening to this call and you are at high school at the moment, then you will be entering in one of the blue programs. So our 7-year program offers students who are coming in at a GCSE level, but for those who are coming in at potentially CBSE or A-level or IB, you'll be starting at either the 6-year or the 5-year program, depending on your grades, as well as what point you want to start at. And the flags underneath, so the red, yellow, and green, if you haven't seen it before, is Grenada in the Caribbean. You could also start in the UK, and then we also have the option for the 1 year in Ramaiah as well. The 4-year MD program, so you can see that the orange circle starts here, is your full 4-year medical degree program. And the 4-year program is eligible if you are coming in with a bachelor's of a program that we can accept. So it could be a life and health sciences program like biochemistry or biosciences. In some cases, we can accept students who are coming from a non-life health background who already hold a bachelor's. And this is on a case-by-case basis, depending on your motivation for joining medicine. So just like US medical schools, we have the first 2 years of the basic sciences. And then the last 2 years are your clinical program. So within these 2 years, you will be focusing on your rotations, and you'll be in the hospitals. You go through 8 rotations, and those include surgery, family medicine, emergency medicine, And within these 2 years, you're also gaining letters of recommendation from your faculty heads in the hospitals, as well as getting a feel for what you might want to specialize in after you graduate and move into your fellowship, which is when you're actually working and being paid to work in a hospital. The first 2 years we're preparing you also for the USMLE, which is the United States Medical Licensing Exam, or if you come to the UK, formerly known as the PLAB, which is the United Kingdom Medical Licensing Assessment. And SGU, as mentioned in the video, prepares you really well for both those sets of exams. So you may be wondering what life is going to be like when you enter St. George's University, you know, who the fellow students are going to be, where you'll be staying, and also your day-to-day life on campus. So this very much depends on where you begin your journey. As I mentioned, we have the Caribbean, we have the UK, and we have Ramaya as well. So I'm going to focus on the Caribbean, and these are all our photos of our Grenada North America campus. So you can see here we've got state-of-the-art gyms. We've got 17 cafes on campus, so cafes, cafeterias, restaurants. We have a number of students who are Indian, Hindu, Muslim, and we cater to halal and other vegetarian needs. So if you have a specific dietary requirement, we can cater, and you can just let us know if there's anything you need while you study with us as well. The facilities are right next to the beach, and the island also has 24-hour security and a bus that runs as well. We also have several new buildings, all of which include Wi-Fi, air conditioning, laundry, and housekeeping twice a week as well. So you may be wondering how to get started on your application now that you've learned a little bit more about St. George's University. So there are several ways you can apply. You can apply through the SGU website directly, or I also recommend you make your application with Cadre International, as they have many years of experience helping bring students to us at SGU and are experts in the process. So I highly recommend you now look at the screen at point 2, because this is the point where our students will need to collect a lot of documents in order to be successful at SGU. So one of the most important things is the academics. So we will look at your academics from school. We also require maths at SGU, which I know some of you may not have selected before choosing your subjects. So we have a maths test that you can take as a subsidiary exam to enter SGU. We also require an English exam. So we require the IELTS exam with a score of 7.0 and no band less than 6.5 for the writing. Another area that we really look at SGU is your extracurricular activities. So when you're thinking about why you want to become a doctor, I often recommend you can really boost your application, even at this stage, depending on your age, with volunteering, doing a first aid course, watching YouTube videos online, and referencing that in your personal statement. So the personal statement is a 1-page essay, and that's your motivation for becoming a doctor. And it would be great in that motivation to understand what you've done in your spare time that's helped you decide to choose medicine as your choice of career. So if you're stuck, or you feel like you don't know what to choose, or you feel like you want to gain more experience, we also run mini med clubs throughout the year, which you can join. And these are clubs that are online, where you can listen to lectures from our doctors about surgical procedures, about areas like stroke research, about areas like women's development. And again, you can add that to your CV, and it shows that you're really committed and invested to your career and time in medicine. And then we also look at your general motivation, and then we will also quiz that in an interview as well. So once we feel that you have met the academic requirements, you will be interviewed by a member of the medical faculty here at SGU. We have 2 interviewers based in the UAE who will interview you over Zoom as well. And again, we will ask you questions like why you want to be a doctor. And I really want you to think about what it is and why do you want to be a doctor? We get a lot of students who tell us they want to make a difference, but what difference is that? What kind of research do you want to do? Have you thought about, where you want to practice medicine? And also, have you thought about the other commitments, such as family commitments, time commitments, and also the length and journey of your studies with us? Some students study up to 7 years with us at SGU. So really thinking about your medical journey with us as well. We'll make an academic decision, and we will also assess you for a scholarship, which is based on your family need. And it is also based on your grades. So the higher your grades, and considering if you have other siblings who are studying, or if there are other family needs required in terms of the income at home or assets, we'll then consider you for a scholarship. And then you just need to accept your offer, pay your deposit, and then you will travel to Grenada, the UK, or India. An important note is that if you're considering Grenada, we do not require a visa for students studying in Grenada, which makes it a very popular choice for students from the Middle East. So you don't need a visa for any of the years of study until you go on your clinical rotations in the US or the UK. And our Office of Career Guidance will help you with the visa process as well. If you're considering the UK, then it will be a standard Tier 4 study visa. Again, we can give you advice, and Dr. Kadri can also help you explain the visa process as well. And after this, you will study with us and begin your career in medicine at St. George's University. So if you'd like any further information, you can reach me here on my email, and you can also reach me on WhatsApp on the number here as well. And if you scan the QR code, this will take you to our website where you can read more about the program and listen to more student testimonials as well. Our applications are now open. For Grenada, our students will arrive in August, and for the UK, our students will arrive in September. And if you're considering Ramaya, India, for your first year, then you will arrive in October. So I highly recommend that you start your application now, and this will give you time to collect your documents and submit your predicted grades, begin to write your personal statement, and prepare. So thank you very much. We really look forward to welcoming you. And I will now have a look on the chat box and see what questions we've had.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Amy. That was a very informative presentation. And now we'll begin the Q&A session. So students, if you have anything, please type in the Q&A section below and we'll be able to answer it. I can see one student has asked about taking APs, and is it going to allow him to skip credits? If so, then which APs?
Okay, so APs are from the American system. So APs can be helpful in your application. They are not absolutely required in terms of application. We accept students from the American system with or without AP, but they will not allow you to skip any credits because the curriculum is set for all students who are studying medicine. And if you're going into a career in medicine, you need to understand every aspect that we're teaching you, from the clinical sciences to the basic sciences to also the foundation studies as well. So we welcome you to apply with your APs. If you're going to take an AP, I recommend you take a science or a maths AP, but it will not allow you to skip any credits at SGU.
Okay, and another student is asking about him being an undergraduate in arts, and they would like to pursue nursing in UK. They have a medical background only in operations, and in continuation, they would like to be able to take any dependent with them. What possibilities, courses for undergraduate to take dependent as well?
Okay, so for the first question, whether you're undergraduate in arts, like I mentioned, we've recently changed our entry requirements. So you don't have to have a bachelor's in health or life sciences to enter the program. If it's an arts program, then we would need to look at what you've studied. And also we would have a look at any courses that you've taken at high school. So any science or maths at high school level would also aid it. You mentioned you've got some operations experience. So again, we would like to understand what that is. So you could write that in your personal statement, or you can show us certificates that you've taken as well. And that would really, really help us understand. For nursing, we don't offer nursing at St. George's University. We are only a medical university program. So we don't offer nursing, just bear that in mind. In terms of bringing dependents, you can bring dependents to the UK, but bear in mind that you have to show that you have the financial capability to sponsor and bring that dependent with you. And when you go for your visa interview and you're planning to bring a dependent, you will need to show that evidence to the UK embassy. And you will also need to justify why you are bringing that dependent and not leaving them here. And also that dependent may or may not have the right to work. And therefore showing that financial capability means that they do not become a resource to the UK government. So therefore you need to show that you can cover them as well.
Okay, and then we have another question saying if the SABIS diploma is enough to be admitted to the 6-year program, and the student says that their grades are high and would like to repeat the necessary criteria for admission.
Yep, absolutely. So the SABIS diploma we can accept from Schweifert, so that's absolutely fine. In terms of what we're looking for, it would be the sciences and the maths. And if your grades are high, then that should be enough to admit you. The other things that we would need from you from the SABIS curriculum is a full breakdown of your predicted and previously acquired grades. We would need 2 letters of recommendation from your school. We would need the personal statement, a list of your extracurricular activities, and then you would go through the interview like any other student. So yes, you're completely right. You would do the 6-year program. So that's 2 years of preclinical sciences and then 4 years of the MD program. And actually with SABIS, with Schweifert, we have a special application program that you go through. And if you speak to your academic coordinator at school, they'll know about it. And Dr. Kadri can also help you with your application. So we take a lot of SABIS students. I think last year we admitted 15 students from SABIS schools across the Middle East and North Africa. So you'll be in good company.
Okay, correct. Then another student is asking about the SAT subjects. They took biology and math level 1, and how much should they have to enter the university?
Yep. So SAT, so it would be good to know if you're doing a GPA and an SAT. So generally speaking, we look for a score of 1,300 to 1,400. Again, it would be your sciences. So biology, chemistry, or physics. So it's chem or physics and maths. So again, we need to look at a breakdown of your specific grades from the SATs, and then we can admit you based on that as well. But we take a lot of students from the American system as well. And you would enter from the 6-year program, or if the grades are lower, you may enter from the 7-year program.
Okay, all right. Then a student is asking about the extracurriculars. Which do you recommend?
Yeah, so what I always recommend to students is doing something that is medically focused. I appreciate that you can't always go and get a hospital placement, but there may be opportunities at your school like first aid, if you can do a course in or outside of school. You could also do volunteering outside of school. I also recommend joining something like debate club, because when you're a doctor, you're often debating with patients about their care, or family members. You know, you're often having to risk assess different types of surgeries as well. And being a good public speaker, being able to think about the way that you speak with patients and the way you justify the type of medical procedures you want to do is really, really important as well. So I recommend all of those. We also look at things like sports, because sports is good teamwork as well. So lots of sports is really, really good. It's also good to have a hobby outside of medical school, because it is a lot of study, and we offer lots of extracurricular activities at the university. So, you know, dance, basketball, swimming, cycling, any of those kind of things where we can see that you have other interests and you're good at working in a team. Languages, I know lots of students in the Middle East speak, you know, fluent English, maybe Arabic, Urdu, Hindi. There are lots and lots of different options. So I would always recommend that you also list anything that you have in your family, like if you speak another language, because in the US and the UK, we have a lot of international communities and families, and having an extra language and working in that community in medicine may be really, really beneficial as well.
Okay. Then another student is asking about the fee structure per semester.
Per semester, so we have a breakdown of our fees on the website, and Dr. Kadri can also give you the fees as well. Per semester, it's a little bit difficult to exactly tell you each semester because it changes year on year. But for the first year, if you're going to come to Grenada, then it's $35,000 US. If you're going to come to the UK, it's about $30,000 US, which is about 28,000 pounds. And if you're coming to Ramaya, then it's $15,000 US. You will also need to consider the cost of living, so food, accommodation, and flights as well. So I recommend you have a conversation with your family and your parents or your sponsor and have a look at your budget. I always tell students that medical school is expensive because the ultimate salary you're going to earn is going to be very, very high. So medical school is a big time commitment. It's also a big financial commitment. we recommend that you have a budget of around 350,000 US dollars before we apply any kind of scholarship. And we have scholarships, but they're not full or 50%. They are partial small scholarships that will help aid the total cost.
Okay. Can I add just add this one that the fees goes up year by year. The first 2 years might be 35,000, then it will come to 50,000, 45,000. It goes to up to 70,000. But the total fees will be around 330, 40, or 50,000 $50,000 for the entire course before scholarship. No, so you just keep in mind that minimum you have to pay around $300,000 plus the living costs, and living costs estimated between around $12,000 to $15,000 a year. No, so you are talking about roughly between $350,000 to $400,000 for the entire course for 5 years. No, okay.
Correct. Thanks, Dr. Kadri.
Thank you.
All right. Then another student is saying that they're studying IB and they have taken biology, chemistry at high level and maths analysis and approaches at standard level. What is the minimum grade out of 7 that they should have in order to apply for the St. George's University?
So generally speaking, we're looking for a score of 5 to 6.
Then another student is asking if they took only biology and math level 1 in SAT, will they still be able to enter the university, or should they be chemistry and physics?
That's a good question. For the American system, I would need to look into it specifically, because if you've only taken level 1 in SAT, then admissions will have to look into that. So if you have your grades available, I recommend you reach out to Dr. Kadri and myself. We can have a look at the grades, and then I can let you know exactly how we would admit you and what I recommend you take at this stage as well.
All right, okay. So now we have answered most of the questions. We still have time, so students, parents, if you have any more, please type in, and yes, we'll be waiting. I think Ms. Amy, you've explained really well. So
no problem. You're welcome. Again, if any students have further questions, or if you're shy or you don't want to ask directly, my contact details are still on the page. So you can email me, you can contact me on WhatsApp. I'll let Dr. Kadri know as well, and then we can speak about your queries further as well. I'm based here in the Middle East, and so is our team. We have 15 staff now in the Middle East. We took 70 students last year. So we have a lot of students from this part of the world, and you'll be in good company if you join SGU.
Thank you for saying that. Then a student is asking if they took 2 biology and math 1, then what is the score for them if they wanted to get admitted to the university?
Okay, so for ACT, so again, for the American system, we would again need to look at the score that you have achieved overall, and then we can assess you from there. So again, I would recommend you send your American ACT into Kadri, and we can look at those directly as well.
Yes, definitely. Then a student is asking about the dorms. What kind of dorms are there in the university?
Yep, so all dorms are private rooms. So it's not like a traditional American school. They are single rooms where you have your own bed, and accommodation is single sex in some locations. So it's all females sharing. So you would have your own room with your own ensuite bathroom, and then you have a kitchen which you share, and you can cook meals, you can study together. Everything's really modern with air conditioning and Wi-Fi. So you can obviously choose if you want to be in single sex where you're only sharing with the same gender, or we also have the option for mixed genders as well. So all of our first year students that are coming to study with St. George's have to be on campus. After the 2nd or 3rd year, if you want to be off campus, if you've made friends, we have a Department of Housing, and they can also help you find accommodation off campus if you want to. But the dormitories are really nice. They're super modern. They have, in the UK, they have a cafe and a big supermarket that's open 24/7 underneath as well. And it's about a minute from the metro. So you come out of your door, walk across the little parkade area, and you're on the metro. And in Grenada, the accommodation is built within the campus, so you can just walk to and from as well.
Okay, that is very convenient. Then another student is asking if do you consider SAT-1 and what is the score needed for it? I think we,
Yeah, so again, for the American system, it's on a case-by-case basis. So I would recommend again that you send in those scores that you have. I need to know the specific scores, and then we can assess you based on that as well. The American system is tricky because we accept students at different levels based on their ACT, SATs. Sometimes we consider the AP as well. So you can either enter at year 7 or year 6. So again, if you send in those documents into Dr. Kadri, we can then let you know exactly the score required, and then you know exactly what to aim for when you're applying to us as well.
yes, please, that would be good. And I think, once again, we're out of questions. So we'll wait for 2 minutes more. If there's anything else, please feel free to ask. We have the same question asking about if they didn't choose a dorm and they chose apartment, then what are the public transportations there in order to get to the university?
So you have to choose a dorm in your first year. There would need to be a serious reason as to why you don't want to choose a dorm on campus, and the Office of Student Support and Housing will need to understand why you don't want to stay on campus. As I mentioned, the dormitories we have amazing public transport in the UK. So you leave the apartment, you walk less than a minute and you're on the metro, and then the metro will drop you to the university. It's about 10 to 15 minutes, and you can get a metro card. So you can get a student discounted rate, and it makes it really cheap and affordable. There are also buses that run around Newcastle for the UK campus. And for Grenada, it's an entirely built campus university. So the accommodation to the main study halls, the laboratories, everything is, 5 minutes, if that. So everything's really well located. Again, for India, for Ramaya, it's the same as Grenada. So it's a campus university. You can just walk everywhere.
All right. Okay. Yes, students, if there's anything else, please ask. Other than that, I think we will conclude the webinar here. If there's anything that we have missed, then please feel free to contact us. And yes, thank you so much, Ms. Amy, for having us today for this webinar.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amy, for joining us. Thank you.
Take
Have
care.
a lovely day. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Dr. Kadri. You too. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.